Harvard just made GPA much harder, and it could change college education forever. One of the most controversial changes in higher education just became official. In May 2026, Harvard University's Faculty of Arts and Sciences voted 458 to 201 to approve a major reform aimed at tackling grade inflation. Starting in fall 2027, Harvard will place strict limits on the number of grades awarded in undergraduate courses. Under the new policy, no more than 20% of students in a class should receive an A, with instructors allowed only a small number of additional grades beyond that limit. And the announcement immediately sparked debate across American higher education. Why? Because Harvard is trying to solve a problem that has been growing for years. Grade inflation. According to Harvard's own data, more than 60% of all undergraduate grades during the 2024 to 2025 academic year were A-level grades. Even more striking, the median GPA of Harvard's class of 2025 reached 3.83. In fact, since the 2016 to 2017 academic year, the median graduating GPA at Harvard has effectively been at an A average. To that point, many faculty members argued that grades were no longer serving their original purpose. If almost everyone receives an A, does an A still mean exceptional performance? Harvard's answer is no. That is why the university decided to act. But this reform is about more than simply lowering grades. Harvard is also changing how academic distinction will be recognized. In the future, honors, prizes, and academic awards will place greater emphasis on a student's performance relative to their peers, rather than relying only on GPA. Harvard's explanation was surprisingly direct. A grade should once again represent extraordinary distinction. In other words, an A should once again be rare. And honestly, this story is much bigger than Harvard. Over the past decade, many top universities across the United States have faced the same challenge. As GPAs continue to rise, graduate schools, medical schools, employers, and recruiters have found it increasingly difficult to distinguish between students based on grades alone. When everyone has a near-perfect transcript, GPA becomes less useful as a measure of excellence. As a result, admissions officers and employers have already started paying closer attention to other factors: research experience, internships, leadership, independent projects, entrepreneurship, publications, real-world problem-solving, and the ability to create meaningful impact. For students and families aiming for top universities, this is an important reminder. Education is no longer just a competition for perfect grades. Of course, academic performance still matters, but the future belongs to students who can do more than earn A's. The students who stand out will be the ones who can solve problems, build things, lead teams, conduct research, and create value beyond the classroom. Because whether you are applying to college, graduate school, or a top employer, what ultimately matters is not just the letter on your transcript. It is what you have actually done with your education. Comment grade reform below, and we will send you our full breakdown of Harvard's new grading policy.